you've decided you're ready to buy a house, and now you need some tips on how to apply for a mortgage. There's 3 basic things that you need to know in order to get started. The first thing is get a copy of your credit report. On your credit report, you're going to want your score to be a 640 or better. If it's below 640, there are still options for you. Don't get discouraged. Talk to your mortgage loan officer and they can help you and give you suggestions. Or there are alternative lenders that will go down to a 580. When you get a copy of your credit score from one of the online websites, such as freecreditreport.com or annualcreditreport.com, don't rely too heavily on the scores that they provide for you. Their scores are never the same as the ones that we get when we pull a mortgage credit report. So basically, you just want to get a copy of your credit report so that you can see that the information on there is accurate and that it is your information, that your information hasn't been combined with someone else's or confused with someone else's. One other thing that I would like to emphasize about your credit report is when it comes to credit cards, you want to keep your balance at about 30% of whatever your limit is. So if you have a $1,000 credit card, keep your balance at $300 or below. Once you exceed that 30% mark, it tends to harm your credit score. You obtain the most points by being able to manage your credit effectively. And what they look at as managing your credit effectively is keeping your balance down below that 30% mark. Also, when it comes to the credit report, you want to have at least one credit card, and it's good to have at least one installment loan. Most lenders are going to look for you to have 4 trade lines, so you would have to have probably multiple credit cards or multiple installment loans or loans that you've paid off in the past. Don't get overwhelmed by the credit report. If you know you've never had anything past due or never had anything late, you may not even need to get a copy of it. But in most cases, it is good to go ahead and get a copy of that free credit report so that you can look at it and know what you're going to deal with and be able to address anything ahead of time if you need to. The second tip that I'd like to give you is to gather your information. By gathering your information, I mean your employment and your asset information. When it comes to your employer, we're going to need a 2-year history. So we need to know the names and the address of your employers for the last 2 years and the dates that you were employed with them. Also, if you're self-employed, you'll have to have been self-employed for a minimum of 2 years, and we'll have to have copies of your self-employment tax returns also, which in most cases is just your Schedule C. Or if you're a Subchapter S, then we'll have to have a copy of your Subchapter S corporate tax returns also. If you're using part-time income, if you work full-time and you also have a side job, then in order to use that part-time income, you'll have to have been employed with them for at least 2 years. In addition to that, when it comes to income and employment information, some people do receive alimony, child support, disability. Those are all special situations. In general, you have to be able to prove that you're going to continue to receive them for the next 3 years. And your loan officer can walk you through any other special documentation that you need for that. Other information that we'll need would be asset information. And that's going to be your bank statements for your checking account, for your savings account, for your retirement account. If you have any large deposits going into any of those accounts, just be able to explain and document where they came from and what the source is. In the asset area, most loans today are going to require some type of a down payment. FHA loans, which typically are the best loans for first-time home buyers, generally require a 3.5% down payment. So you will need to be prepared to pay at least 3.5% down. That can be your money that you have in your checking account or savings account already, or it can be a gift from an immediate relative. So don't let the down payment hinder you either. Also, there are loans out there that will allow for 100% financing. They're just rural development loans. They have to be located outside of the city limits in the county. So if you're looking for a house in that area, there is a possibility to obtain 100% financing still. And the third tip that I have for you is to find a mortgage professional that you trust. There are so many mortgage people out there. There's people at the bank. There's people at brokers. There are a lot of us out there. Find someone that you trust. Talk to your family members. Talk to your friends. If you have a realtor that you're working with, talk to your realtor. And find someone that you can talk to that makes you feel comfortable. It's already very nerve-wracking when you get ready to buy a house, so the loan process shouldn't be as difficult. Talk to somebody that's going to make it easy. Talk to somebody that makes you feel comfortable, and talk to somebody that you like dealing with and that you trust. I'd love for you to check out our website. It's www.mortgageteam1.com. There's several loan originators there, and we all have a lot of experience, and we'd be more than happy to help you with your home buying process. Thanks.